Now, a very common problem that advertisers face when trying to scale with meta ads, and it's also something that I've experienced and experienced with my clients, is that when we increase the budget, then very quickly at some point we start to see that the ROAS or the cost per result gets worse. So ROAS gets lower and cost per result gets too high. So we're losing the profitability as we scale. And this has been a key issue for many of my clients. And I had to find a way to ensure that we could increase budget and scale volume while protecting profitability. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how I took one of my clients from 5 to 7 figures in less than 1 year. And we're now also on track to make multiple 7 figures this year with this specific scaling method. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Oli, and over the last 6 years, I've been managing ads for multiple different businesses all around the world, helping them scale profitably with this method that I have developed over the years. And this YouTube channel is just where I share the lessons and learnings that I have along the way for free with you guys. So if you want to see more videos like this and learn how to scale with Facebook ads, make sure you subscribe so you see future videos. So as you can see, for this account that we manage, we've been able to so far this year increase the total amount spent by 228%, and we've kept the ROAS going up. As you can see here, a 2.78% increase in ROAS. So we're able to more than triple the ad spend while maintaining the profitability. You see the ROAS stays the same. And as you can see, if we go into the sales report in Shopify, you see here a 246% increase in sales there as well, more than triple the sales. And this is just until September so far this year. For this brand, Q4 is the biggest. So we're looking to do a much bigger increase there as well. So that's amazing results. I'll show you exactly the strategy that we used to achieve this now. So the secret to being able to increase spend so much without losing the profitability is this thing you see here, the bid strategy. This is how we tell Meta how to bid on our ads. So as you can see, we're using a cost per result goal. So by default, when you set up a new campaign, I'll show you the default bid strategy that you'll see, just so you understand the difference here. So I'm now setting up a new sales campaign. And when we scroll down, we're going to keep the budget at the campaign level. And then under campaign bid strategy, you'll see that by default, it says highest volume. So if we go in and edit here, you can select highest volume. And as you can see in the description, Meta tells us that this gets you the most results for your budget. But the thing here is when you put your daily budget, if you publish this campaign with highest volume, you will essentially tell Meta to go and just spend all your budget regardless of the profitability and just get you as many results as possible. But that doesn't tell us anything about the ROAS or the cost per result goal that you need in order to scale your business profitably. So to ensure that you're actually scaling profitably, you need to select a cost per result goal or a ROAS goal. I'm going to get into the difference between the two later in the video. First now, let's just talk about the cost per result goal. So when you have this one selected and you go to the ad set level, first need to select your conversion event. So for me, this is just an example account, so I don't have anything else but schedule a meeting as my conversion location because I run an agency and my conversion is to get people on booked calls with me to potentially buy our service. But for you, that would probably be sales or a qualified lead, the thing that you actually want for your business. It's very important that you optimize for the thing you ultimately want, right? Not add to cart or page views or engagement, because that's usually not what you actually want for your business. So then you see here, since we have this new bid strategy selected, you can now put in a cost per result goal. So here you put in the amount that you're willing to pay per conversion, okay? So as you can see in the description here, Meta will now aim to get you the most conversions and try to keep your average around this target that you put in here. But as we see, they also say some results may cost more and some may cost less. So it's not like every conversion you get in will now be at this target. It's not how it works. How it works is Meta will try to understand when it can get you conversion at your target cost and try to spend more of your budget when it predicts that it can get you that conversion at that cost. And if it doesn't think it can get you that conversion, it will reduce your spend and wait for better periods. And that's exactly how we've been able to scale this brand. So as you can see here, we have gotten 16,677 conversions so far this year for this brand. And if we go in and look at the results, I'll show you something really, really interesting here. If we look at the amount spent, and let's look at the last 30 days, just so we can zoom in a little bit here to actually show you what happens when you use this bid strategy. You can see here that some days we're spending a lot more than other days, okay? So the spend fluctuates a lot. And the reason for that is because we have set a cost per result goal and we have a very high daily budget available on this campaign, Meta will be able to capitalize and take advantage of those good days and those good periods when the predictive modeling of the algorithm thinks it can find us a lot of conversions at our target cost. So as an example, on August 23rd here, you can see that we have a crazy spike in the amount spent, but then it goes down again to protect profitability. But then again, it goes up and it capitalizes on good periods. Then it goes down again, up again. And as you can see, our ad spend follows the fluctuations of potential on Meta as an advertising platform. And that is how we're able to scale while protecting profitability. Now, I wish I could tell you that it was as simple as just setting a cost per result goal, increasing your budget, and then Meta will handle the rest. But it's actually not that simple, because when you start using a cost per result goal or ROAS goal, you will run into a different problem. And it's very common. I've worked with multiple different brands that have this problem. It happens again and again and again, and you will probably run into the same problem yourself. And that is when you start using the cost per result goal, if Meta isn't confident that it can get you a conversion at that target cost, it will not spend your money at all. And as you saw on this graph, we have some days where it's just spending a lot more to capitalize. But if you don't have enough data on this campaign and in your ad account, then the algorithm will have a very hard time predicting the future to understand if it should spend more or if it should protect profitability. And most of the times what happens is it just doesn't spend as much as you want, and the daily spend goes down significantly, and you're not able to hit that volume of sales that you want for your business. So to actually be able to use this bid strategy, you need at least 50 conversion events per week. That's like the rule of thumb. If you don't have that, then it will be very difficult to use this bid strategy. So then the question is, what do you do before you have that volume of conversion data consistently coming into your campaign? In that case, what we have done and what we did with this brand to take them from 5 to 7 figures was starting with the highest volume bid strategy. So starting with the default one. Now, of course, it won't protect your profitability like it does when we are at this level, but what it will do is it will give you learnings, and it will feed the campaign with data that will compound over time, and the algorithm will become smarter and better at finding you relevant people within your audience, and over time it will get better and better. And this is what taps into something that's extremely powerful that we've used to scale multiple different brands, and that is the Evergreen Campaign effect. When you run a campaign for a very long time and you allow two things to happen, number one, you get a lot of data coming into the campaign. So the campaign will learn who is relevant to target. And number two is the ads that you run within this campaign will stack social engagement. And that is actually super important. When you start to have ads that have a lot of comments, a lot of likes, a lot of shares, the ad will perform better, because when people see it, they will pay more attention to it because there's engagement going on. Now, secondly, when an ad has a lot of engagement, that tells Meta that this ad also supports Meta's priorities, which is to keep their users engaged and active on their platform. And if your ad both drives conversion and keeps the users on Facebook and Instagram engaged, then both of those two boxes are being checked, and that is when we see the ads performance really go up and you start getting more consistent sales coming in on the campaign. Before you apply the cost per result goal, make sure you start with highest volume, get consistent data, get those learnings in on the campaign and the ads, figure out what works for you. And when you have those learnings, then you can start tapping into using the cost per result goal. Now, when you apply your cost per result goal, it's very important that you set it not too optimistic. So if I were to put this at, like, let's say 25, okay, but I'm on average per conversion getting them in at, let's say 30, then because I've set it below what I'm getting consistently, that can turn into that Meta doesn't think it will be able to get me that target cost, and the spending on the campaign will be reduced. And if you're spending less, then it means you'll probably get less data coming in, and over time your momentum is going to drop down, and that will negatively hurt the evergreen compounding effect that I talked about. So what you actually want to do is, let's say I'm getting 30 on average, right? Then maybe I will start out with 35 as my target, because now I know for sure that I'm already hitting that target and a little bit better than that. So now I can allow Meta to continue to spend and learn how to use the cost per result goal. Now, over time, what we can do is we can reduce it. So let's say I put 32 after this has been running for 2 weeks, and then we see what happens when I reduce it to 32. And then if that still works, I can go back down to 30, okay? Let that run for a while, and then I can reduce it down to maybe slightly below what I'm getting on average to see if we can push the algorithm to give us even more profitable results. And this is how you would use the cost per result goal, because again, if you set it too optimistically, I've seen this again and again, that people set it way too optimistically, the campaign stops spending and they lose all of that momentum. So make sure that doesn't happen for you, and then you can slowly reduce the cost per result goal over time, but you can't start too optimistically. Now, I don't want to end this video before I actually show you one of the key reasons why we were able to scale so much for this brand without losing profitability, because it's not actually as simple as I've shown you so so far. There is something else going on in the background that we're working really hard on. That is what allows us to scale so heavily and being able to capitalize with the cost per result goal. So let me show you our campaign structure that we use, okay? This is the top of funnel evergreen structure that we use for 2025. So this is an Advantage plus sales campaign. We're running the account budget, so the total ad spend that we have available for the full account. This is running with between 60 to 80% of that. And we're obviously using a cost per result goal as the bid strategy. Budget type is set to daily. Now we're targeting very broad. The only thing we're doing is excluding existing customers. And within this ad set, we're running with between 10 to 50 active ads. Now, this is what makes it work so well because we have another campaign working in the background. So this is a CBO campaign, and this should have between 20 to 40% of your total account budget. And this is where we use a highest volume bid strategy, okay? Now, the reason for that is we want to invest in testing, and we want to consistently have a flow of new proven ads that we know will scale and we know will tap into different personas within our broad audience. Because we're doing such broad targeting here, it's very important that we have what I call creative diversity. That means ads that are tapping into the different people within our audience, because the people in our audience are very different. We can get results from women 65 plus, but we might also be able to get results on some days from men below 30, okay? Obviously, it depends on your business, but very often you have different personas within your broad audience that you can get good results from. Now, sure, women 65 plus in this case is where we get the majority of the results, but that doesn't mean we're not able to get profitable results some days throughout the week from a totally different segment of our audience. And this is exactly how we're able to get that volume that we're getting, okay? Because we're every week launching a new batch of ads, between 4 to 6 new ads in a new ad set. So every time we launch a new test, that should be a new ad set within this testing campaign, okay? We let Meta prioritize where to put the budget. We just publish a new ad set and then we let it run until we find winners, okay? So these ads are very different. Some ads might tap into one part of the audience, women 30, 35. Another one might tap into an older part of the audience, women or men 65 plus, right? And over time, we will find that we have a couple of winners, okay? So that means they're hitting our target cost per acquisition or cost per result, or it's hitting our target ROAS. But in addition to that, it also has volume of spend. It's reliable results. This is not one of those ads that have like a little bit of spend, but an amazing ROAS or amazing cost per result. No, these are ads that have both. They're hitting our target, but they're also getting volume of spend. When it's ticking off those two boxes, we take that ad and we promote it into the scaling campaign here. And over time, what ends up happening is that we have multiple active ads within the scaling campaign that are tapping into different segments of this broad audience. And what's amazing about the new way to advertise on Meta is that their new machine learning system is very good at matching an ad with a relevant person, user on Facebook or Instagram. So when we have all of these different ads tapping into all of this potential within our audience, that's when the bid strategy starts to work. Because maybe one day for one segment of the audience, the cost of advertising to that segment has risen. So that is something that always happens, like the cost of advertising to different people on Facebook and Instagram, it fluctuates. But let's say, okay, women 65 plus 1 week is very expensive to advertise to. So instead of our campaign totally stopping spending and not being able to get that flow of data coming in, maybe that same week as 65 plus women is very expensive, maybe it's now able to tap to men below 35. And because it's able to match the ad so well with the user, and we have the cost per result goal put on the campaign, we can still get in conversions and keep the campaign running and allow Meta's predictive modeling, basically Meta's ability to look into the future, to still work in our favor and not stop spending totally when one segment of the audience is getting more competitive and more expensive to advertise to. And this is the exact strategy that we're using to get these amazing results. Now, as you can see within this scaling campaign, okay, we have one ad set and then we have multiple active ads tapping into different parts of the audience. But then we also have this creative testing campaign, as I said, running with highest volume bid strategy. And within here, we're launching multiple new batches, okay? And we let Meta prioritize where to spend this campaign's budget across all of these different ad sets. And over time, we will find winners and we will promote those winning ads into the scaling campaign. But also over time, we want to turn off those ad sets and those batches that aren't performing, okay? And then every week you launch a new one. You can definitely also put in more frequently. It doesn't really matter. As long as you always put in a new ad set, you do broad targeting, exclude existing customers, give it time, don't kill it too early. We let these batches run for sometimes a couple of weeks on end because initially it might not be getting a lot of spend. Meta might not prioritize it right away, but over time it starts to maybe get some results and then Meta believes in that ad even more. It gets more spend and all of a sudden, boom, you have a new winner. You promote that into the scaling campaign and over time you will have between 10 to 50 active ads in the scaling campaign that allows the cost per result goal to work so effectively. Now, a very important aspect to get this workflow to work for your business is that every time you launch a new batch, it needs to follow this principle. So 50% of the ads that you launch should be iterations of the best performers in your ad account. So you look at your best performing ads and you create a new variation of that. So for example, if you have a video ad that's targeted towards women 65 plus that is doing really well, but let's say it's 30 seconds, maybe we can touch on all of the benefits in 20 seconds instead and make it shorter and get to the call to action quicker. Maybe we can also add a better hook. That would be an iteration of the best performer. And 50% of the ads that you launch with every new batch should be iterations. But the other 50% should be what we call big swings. It should be something that you've never tested before. It's very different. It might tap into a totally different persona. It might be a totally different format. It might be video ads with a creator that you never worked with before that is maybe 25 or younger, and that ad might have that potential to tap into a totally different segment of that broad audience. And over time, that's how we're actually able to get creative diversity, not just a bunch of iterations of the same type of ad, but multiple different ads tapping into different people within your audience. And on top of that, we've made iterations of those best performers with that creative diversity. And that is how we're able to scale so massively for this brand while maintaining this profitability. So you can think of the scaling campaign here as your winning team. Okay, so if this was a basketball team, this is where every ad would be a player, and that player wouldn't just be the same position. You wouldn't have 10 point guards on a team. You would have one point guard, one shooting guard, one power forward, and one center, right? In other words, to have a really good team, if you understand basketball, you need to have players that specialize in different skills. That's the only way to have a winning team. And the same way with these ads, you can't just have a bunch of iterations of that same ad if you want to tap into all of these different parts of that broad audience. You need highly effective ads that are resonating with the different type of people that your offer could be relevant for. And the only way to get this winning team of ads is actually having this testing campaign. This is the tryouts. This is where you test new potential players. And if they do really well, that is, they're hitting the target profitability that you need in cost per result or ROAS, but it's also not just luck. They actually do it reliably over time. So the ad get a lot of spend and you can actually trust this result. That is when you promote it into your winning scaling campaign. Now, hopefully you start using this scaling method. And if you do, I'm pretty sure you will see remarkable results. Of course, as I showed you, this takes work and it takes effort, okay? And the new way to win with meta ads is by applying creative diversity. You probably have heard that the new way to target with meta ads is creative, but this is the way that you do it. And this is the way you end up with different creatives that are doing the targeting on your behalf, but also protecting the profitability, which is extremely important. Now, if you have any questions to what I discussed in this video, make sure you leave a comment down below. I answer every comment from my subscribers, so make sure you subscribe as well. And if you found this overwhelming and you actually want to focus more on the operational side of your business and you want someone to help you out create, manage, and scale your ads, then you can click the link in the description of this video and apply to work with me and my team. Now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you got some value out of this video, and I'll see you in the next one.